I'm a big fan of crypto trading bots, but I wasn't always. I used to be skeptical and I was like, if those bots work, why not just keep their algorithm a secret and use it yourself? But over time, my perspective changed and I dipped my toes into some bots and got some pretty great returns from them. I realized that they're not too good to be true and that their performance really depends on the broader market conditions. Like some bots will work better in certain conditions compared to others. That's why I've been a faithful user of bots for over 2 years now. But I don't just put all my crypto into one of them and ride or die with it. Instead, I put a small slice of my portfolio, like say 20%, into a handful of bots. So I see it as a way of diversifying my strategy. So I'm not just only hodl or only swing trading. I honestly believe that every crypto trader or investor could benefit from using bots as a part of their overall strategy. That's why today I want to share with you 3 trading bots that you've probably never heard of before. You can find these on a variety of different platforms, but the ones I checked out are from Pionex, a crypto exchange with over 16 built-in trading bots. And I want to thank them because they've been sponsoring our channel for a while now. And yes, I do make content like this about them occasionally. Alright, so the first type of bot you probably haven't heard of before is the martingale bot. But in order to understand this bot, we actually have to go to a casino and study some games over there. Because the martingale strategy, which is what this bot is named after, is a famous strategy that you can use in casino games. Like take roulette for example. Say you only bet red or black and you have close to a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Well, if you lose the first time, just double up your bet and bet again. And if you lose again, just double up your bet once more and on and on. Eventually, when you win, you will be in profit. The math pretty much guarantees it. But of course, nothing is perfect and this strategy doesn't always work. Because you could run out of money if you're on a streak of bad luck and you keep doubling but never hit. That is certainly possible and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Pionex's martingale bot takes a very similar approach to what we just talked about. Every time the price drops a fixed percentage, the bot buys more and more and effectively lowers your average cost basis. That's the doubling up part of the strategy. And when the price recovers to a certain take profit level, the bot sells all the coins that it bought for you to lock in those profits. The thing with this approach is that even if the price drops, it only needs to recover a small amount for you to be at break even again. Which is very different from the other strategies where you need to wait for the price to get close to your initial entry point before you're back to even again. Now, this martingale strategy works best in a bullish or sideways trend, but not when the market is full out bear mode, because then there's no recovery in that case. So what Pionex suggests on their blog is to choose solid coins with a lot of liquidity, and also don't enter this bot when a coin is at all-time highs, because then there's a higher chance that the strategy would turn out suboptimal in that scenario. Now, the martingale bot would be bad during a bear market, but this next bot would actually be good in that scenario. It's called reverse grid bot, and it's pretty similar to the grid bot, but in reverse. So instead of buying when the price drops to certain levels and then selling when it goes back up to certain levels, this reverse grid bot sells your coins and then buys it back when it drops down and hits lower levels. So the whole goal here is to increase the number of coins that you have as prices go down. Like if you work with an ETH USDT pair for this reverse grid bot, it will sell your ETH and then buy it back when it hits lower prices. So you will end up with more ETH than what you started with. As you can imagine, this is best to use when we're about to enter a bear market or when we're already in the middle of one, which of course no one can know for sure, but that's why there's bots you can use for all sorts of scenarios, and how they perform depends on your judgment and a little bit of luck as well. But on to my last bot, which you probably haven't come across before, the Spot Futures Arbitrage bot. You know, there's actually a ton of different ways to do arbitrage in the crypto world. Some fancy terms for you are spatial arbitrage, convergence arbitrage, and triangular arbitrage. I don't really want to get into the weeds of those in this video, but essentially they're all taking advantage of market inefficiencies to make low risk profits. Arbitrage is actually how Sam Bankman-Fried made his initial fortune, but he did that in a manual way with the Korean Bitcoin markets. Now, Pionex's approach is actually different from those that I just mentioned. Instead, they take advantage of the funding rate for perpetual futures contracts to make steady passive income. Because perpetual futures have this special mechanism called the funding rate, where the long traders pay the short traders just to keep their positions open, or vice versa. And its whole purpose is to make sure that the futures prices and the actual index prices converge regularly. So what the Pionex bot does is super simple. It opens a short position in the perpetual futures market while holding the same amount of coins in the spot market. So you have a market neutral position and are basically receiving the funding rate every few hours. Historically, the funding rate has been positive for the most part, and that means we can get a juicy annual return since the small funding fee really adds up over time. Now, of course, that's not always the case, and if the funding rate is negative and stays negative, then this bot would generate a loss. But either way, it's small amounts of profits or losses each day. This is not a strategy that faces massive volatility, which is why we should view it as more of a low-risk passive income strategy than a get-rich-quick and go-to-the-moon type of strategy. Personally, I've been using Pionex's bots for over 6 months now, and one of my favorite things about them is how intuitive and easy it is to set them up. I just open the app, pick the ones that I want to try out, and use their AI feature to select the best settings for me, so I don't even need to think about that. They do have in-depth blog posts that explain each bot and how to use them, but honestly, I rarely refer to those when I try out their different bots. But on a high level, I think their biggest strengths are that they offer a wide selection of bots, a wide selection of coins that you can use those bots with, and they're pretty legit as well. They do have a money services business license from Vincent after all, and I haven't run into any big issues myself when using them. So if any of those 3 bots sounds interesting to you, you can try them out and download their app using my referral link below. They also have a ton of other bots like rebalancing bots, grid bots, etc. But those are more cookie cutters, so that's why I didn't include them in this bots you haven't heard of video. If you want more info though, definitely watch this video I made about their arbitrage bot, or you can check out this one about their grid trading bot, which I still use to this day. I'll see you on the next one, and cheers!